thank you all for showing up tonight. I really appreciate that. But I'd like to thank the Ulman family, Doug and Brock, for having me here. And it's an absolute honor to have the Ulman Family Founders Award. Now, I do need to make one quick announcement before I share my words, is that I've actually changed my name. My whole life, I've been known as Ethan Zohn. I'm playing soccer on the back of my jersey, it said Zohn, but everything's different now. Ever since I got back from that show, things have changed. So I've actually changed my name. My first name is still Ethan, but my last name is from Survivor Africa, and that's all a word. So, and I do need to also mention that I think it's really cute that the media is having so much fun fixating on the irony that I'm a cancer survivor that was on a reality television show called Survivor. I mean, it could have been a lot worse, everyone. I could have been on that show 6 feet under, so things are going my way. Now, this cancer word is becoming all too familiar in the lives of millions of people around the world. And some call it the public health crisis of our lifetime. And for better or for worse, this crisis is a double-edged sword that is simultaneously upheaving lives, yet fostering small miracles every single day. And it's those small miracles that keep us moving forward, taking risks, standing up, living strong, and changing lives. And I've been hard-pressed to find anyone who hasn't been touched by this disease in some small way. And the numbers speak for themselves. 1 in 2 men, and 1 in 3 women will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. So now I stand before you as one of the newest members of this elite club that no one really wants to belong to. But now that I'm here, I realize it's like a family that welcomes you with open arms, and it doesn't judge. And one of my favorite restaurants, the Olive Garden. The Olive Garden says, once you're here, you're family. Now, I would have much rather been on the Olive Garden's mailing list than thrust into this new world of survivorship, but now that I'm here, this is my new path, I'll start with sharing with everyone my story and how I'm choosing to get busy living for every single moment. So I'm going to take you back to a time where by comparison was a much simpler time in my life, where the word survivor, in the grand perspective of the entire universe, meant something completely different. I mean, how many people in this room have actually seen the show Survivor? Nice! How many have not seen the show Survivor? You're going to have to leave. But living with barely enough food and water and TV cameras for 39 days was torture. But the real challenge came when I suddenly had to figure out, what do you do when you win $1 million? Not a bad question to have to answer. And since, I'm a nice Jewish boy, everyone, I invested it well. I went into business with this really cool Nigerian guy. I met over email. I'm sure you guys know him. Just gotta get my bank info, so you can't fool me, everyone. But it didn't take me long to leave that reality show and get back to reality. And for winning that $1 million, maybe they took a good hard look at who I was. And although maybe a fancy car or a television set would make me temporarily happy, I want to be the type of person who used his celebrity and his big check to make a difference in the lives of others. And as Doug mentioned, before Survivor, I actually lived and played professional soccer in Zimbabwe. And while I was in Zimbabwe, we would drive by these graveyards that were just overflowing with people who had, died from disease. My best friend Milton ended up getting sick from AIDS and passing away. And this was the first time I saw how one disease could destroy a community, and I saw the pain and suffering and had compassion for all of those touched by this single disease. And that's why I decided to take my money and start this charity, Grassroots Soccer. And we use the power of soccer to fight against HIV and AIDS. But this concept of raising awareness through sport, it's a really effective tool and it's saving lives. Sports grant you instant access into a community. They break down cultural stereotypes and they bring people together. And that's exactly what the Ulman Cancer Fund is doing. They're doing an incredible job at that. And that's why I've decided to make my personal commitment to support the Ulman Cancer Fund. And I've been very fortunate to experience a lot of great things in my life. I've played in stadiums, I've been on TV, I've dined with Doug Ulman. I've achieved what most people might consider a high level of success in my life, but I still felt there was something missing. So I decided to get cancer. Yes, thank you. And so I just like to share my quick cancer story, which is probably similar to a lot of people here. I was young, fit, healthy, dating a beautiful Jenna Maraska, who's here tonight. Thank you. That's my luxury item. And I had really itchy skin, and I didn't think much of it until a swollen lymph node popped up, and went to the doctor and was diagnosed with CD20 positive Hodgkin's lymphoma. And as you can imagine, my life was completely flipped upside down. But the doctors told me I had a good cancer, right? 90% survival rate. Well, to me, there are no good cancers. Just like there's no good wars and there's no good earthquakes. But to me, I follow the doctor's orders. When a doctor tells you to do something or you'll die, you pretty much do it. And I was placed on R-CHOP chemotherapy, didn't work. Placed on a more intensive chemotherapy inpatient called ICE, which also didn't work. And there's some really dark days going through chemotherapy. Times when I felt like my body had turned against me. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, my hair was falling out, I felt miserable, I had no energy. And after getting the results that the mass in my chest continued to grow after this even chemotherapy, that's when things got scary. That's when I began to panic. And as a patient, it's really hard to articulate what it feels like to be seriously ill. It pays to have a positive outlook, but when your doctors try multiple ways of healing you that don't work, you panic. I craved survival. All I wanted to do was live another day, and I was finally placed in a clinical trial which included more chemotherapy, radiation, and then an autologous stem cell transplant. And I had to trust that the work that these doctors are doing every single day, doctors that are like here in the Maryland, would work. I had to trust that what they were doing would help me. And it was a horrible experience. It sucked. I didn't want to spend Christmas, New Year's, and Hanukkah attached to a pump in complete isolation. But I had a gut check. I dug deep, I dug really deep, and that power of the human spirit, the science in the entire cancer community is what helped me get through this battle. And that brings me to where we are today. I lost weight, it's all right. I got to wear cool hats, which is pretty cool. But I'm alive. And I'm here to say that it's a pretty good feeling. Now that I've survived, I decided to use the rest of my life by making sure to never let a crisis go to waste, because it's an opportunity to do some really important things. And for me, that means committing myself to the Ulman Cancer Fund and becoming a megaphone for this young adult cancer generation. And you all read in the program about the statistics about young adults with cancer, and I won't repeat them for you, but statistics numb you to what the real problems are. But they're not just faceless numbers. They're your friends and your family, your teammates, your coworkers, they're people sitting at your tables. It's me, I'm one of those statistics. And I've seen it from both sides now. I've been on the giving and the receiving end of charity. And I want to let everyone in this room know that it's organizations like the Ulman Cancer Fund that are helping real people like me. Doug was one of the first people that reached out to me after my diagnosis became public, offering me support and advice. And since I'm an athlete, I was introduced to the infamous Bob Vitti. Bob, stand up for everyone to see. This is Bob. And I understood the importance of staying active, but I didn't know how. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how far I could push my body. And Jenna can attest, I passed out multiple times at the gym, and she got a frantic call from the gym people saying, "Come, this dude's bald, he's sweating, he's on the floor." But I got introduced to Bob, and he became my mentor. He encouraged me. He gave me advice. He coached me through my recovery. In New York City, I got to train with some of the Team Fight members, Laurel and Becca Wassner, which is awesome. I don't think they're here last year. But because of the Ulman Cancer Fund and these connections, just 9 months after my stem cell transplant, I ran the New York City Marathon in 4 hours and 16 minutes. So, which is awesome. And I think I'm going to do this half-full Ironman, which everyone keeps talking about so much. So, it's not signed, but This room is filled with accomplished CEOs, brilliant athletes, amazing doctors. But once you hear those 3 words, you have cancer, we're all the same. Cancer doesn't care. Cancer doesn't care if you suffered before. Cancer doesn't care who you are or what you do. In years before my diagnosis, cancer came into my home and it took my father. And now it's come into my body. And every time I walk into those waiting rooms, you know, to go for a checkup or for chemo, the one thing that punches me in the stomach every single time is it's always full. There's so many people there all the time. And we sit there like strangers, connected, you know, by this horrible disease. You know, my girlfriend Jenna, she lost her mom after a 14-year battle with breast cancer. You know, I know she felt she paid her dues to cancer. But as I said, cancer doesn't care. Mothers lose their jobs because of cancer. Fathers don't have enough energy to come home and hang out with their 3 kids because of cancer. Doctors and nurses have to see their patients suffer because of cancer. This is what cancer is really like. And this is what people really go through. And this is the face of cancer that the world needs to learn about. We all draw strength from knowing that we're not fighting these battles alone. And I use the word we because I'm talking about the entire cancer community. And witnessing the impact of the Ulman Cancer Fund is my inspiration to keep fighting every single day. And it's your actions and your raw generosity and willingness to help me that made my journey and my time with cancer a lot easier. And this organization gives me the hope to continue doing what I'm doing. And my most recent experience of being a survivor reminds me that this one absolute truth, that with all our differences, older, young, taller, short, Ravens, Steelers, you know, we all share one thing in common. We're all survivors here on this earth for a very short time. It's not about how or when we leave this world. It's what we do to make the most of each crisis in each moment while we're here. To make happiness real for others is truly the greatest gift. And that's exactly what the Ulman Cancer Fund is doing. We have the power to make a difference in the fight against cancer. Follow your heart, fight for a cause. See the hope that is born in someone else's eyes because of something that we were able to do for them. Dig deep tonight, really deep into your pockets. Give generously. We've got a great silent auction coming up. But I want to thank you again to the Ulman family, to Doug, for giving me this honor and helping me realize one of my dreams of helping people. And I will definitely treasure this legacy. So thank you very much.